Has your revenue growth been stagnating? Are your customer-facing teams not facing enough customer-facing time? Is it taking too long to get projects across the finish line? Are your team members feeling overwhelmed and burning out? And ultimately, are you worried that you're going to lose your top performers? All of these challenges are indicators that your revenue growth capacity needs to level up. Well, how do you know if these challenges are the actual problem or symptoms of a more deeply rooted problem? Let me illustrate with a story. Now, this was not my best moment. It was my second year of university, and I had to land my first co-op placement. And a co-op placement was a paid working engagement in my field, and there were 6 such placements throughout my university career. This was the first, and it was the hardest to land. And I watched all my friends get placements, and I got nothing. And the clock was ticking, because if I didn't land a placement by a certain date, it wasn't going to count. And finally, in the nick of time, I got a placement at a major bank in their IT department. I was so excited, man. It was my first corporate job, man. I bought a suit. I took the train downtown Toronto. I walked the business person walk, and I went in there and I learned some things and I met some amazing people and I made some, decent contributions. But I made a really bad decision. Now, let me explain where this bad decision came from. I have developed quite a sense of humor. It probably started when I was bullied as a child, and making people laugh was a way that I would be accepted by my peers. And so I didn't always have great judgment on how and when to apply that humor. I thought it would be a great idea while I'm working at this major bank to do an impersonation of my boss. Yes, my manager had some interesting mannerisms and quirk, like we all do, with those quirks. And so I thought I'd do an impersonation for my colleagues. And I impersonated him. And I was so accurate, and they were laughing their heads off. Man, this impersonation landed so well until one of the audience members stopped laughing real quick and said, dude, you need to turn around and look behind you. And of course, when I did so, I looked and I saw my manager watching my performance of his impersonation. And you know what he said to me? Nothing. He did not say a word. He just gave me this look, and he walked away. Needless to say, I was not invited back for a second term. But what was the lesson that I learned there was that even though my circumstance had leveled up, even though I had grown circumstantially, I had not matured internally. And as a result, I was operating in my current reality as though I was still in my previous reality. I was operating like I was still on a university campus, not a major bank. And so it is with organizations. As your organization grows from one stage to the next, it's important that you also mature appropriately for that new stage. Now, what do I mean by growth versus maturity? Well, growth has to do with all things outward, external, the things that are highly visible and measurable, how you go to market, how you deliver value to your customers, how you generate revenue, and how you impact your industry. Maturity, on the other hand, is about all things internal. It's focused inwardly in your company. So the things may not always be so measurable, but they are highly observable in terms of their impact. And so maturity is about how you lead and support people, how you make decisions and power decision making, how you collaborate across teams, and how you execute work. Now, I should clarify that maturity is not about being boring, overly standardized, introducing red tape. It's quite the opposite. Maturity is all about creating clarity, maintaining simplicity, and liberating your people to focus on the areas that they can have the greatest impact for your organization and for your customers. Now, the extent to which you can sustainably grow as a company depends on your level of organizational maturity. In other words, your maturity is what sets the ceiling on your ability to grow sustainably. So how you operate needs to be commensurate with your current stage of growth. Now, we've identified 7 distinct stages of growth. I've had the privilege of working and leading revenue operations for some of the fastest growing companies on the planet. And I've seen every stage of growth, from early inception all the way through to extreme market dominance, post-IPO, multiple billions and several thousands of employees. I've had the privilege of working at and learning at Shopify Plus, at Intuit Canada, at Clio, at Eloqua before they were the Oracle Marketing Cloud, and lots of other organizations through our consulting. And we found these 7 stages of growth keep recurring. These are distinct stages where it requires a distinct level up in how you operate and how you think as an organization. And those organizations that are able to mature as they grow tend to be the ones that are able to break through to the next stage of growth. And so I want to encourage you, even though you've been experiencing the challenges we talked about, you can enjoy sustainable improvement to your revenue growth. You can enjoy a material increase to your customer-facing time. You can confidently attract and retain top talent. And they can all enjoy the gains of top line and bottom line impact because your teams are focused, well supported, highly coordinated, and very performant as a result. So if you want to talk specifically about your organization together, just click Let's Chat, fill out the brief form, and we'll schedule an introductory video conversation with you where we can learn more about your organization and help you raise the ceiling on your revenue growth capacity. We can't wait to chat with you.